He says he'd like to build a business, keep making arepas, and experiment with sauces.
Johan, what's your dream restaurant like? Where would it be in the United States? Would it be in New York?
Donde me dé la oportunidad, donde yo pueda.
He says he'll go anywhere there's opportunity, but he'd love to stay right here in Brooklyn. Jessica Gould, WNYC News.
WNYC is supported by An Evening with David Sedaris, May 16th at the King's Theater in Brooklyn. The evening will feature news stories and observations along with an audience Q&A and book signing. Ticketing and information at davidsedarisontour.com.
If you're one of the thousands of listeners who support WNYC with a financial contribution, thank you. It's possible that your employer participates in a workplace matching gifts program, which could double or even triple your support. To find out if your donation can be matched by your employer, just visit our easy search tool at wnyc.org/match. And thank you.
Marketplace Morning Report is next, and later on Morning Edition, Crystal Harris was just 21 when she became involved with a powerful man 60 years older than her.
I think it was a combination of being young, impressionable, having come from a broken home. Yeah, I was the perfect person to be controlled.
The third wife of Playboy magazine founder Hugh Hefner talks about their relationship and its impact on her. That's next hour. .39 with light rain and some clouds out there. Rain likely today, mainly late this afternoon. High temperature today in the mid-40s. And then tomorrow rain, steady temperature all the way up near 50 and even warmer on Friday with a slim chance of rain by midday. 39 now with light rain and clouds. It's 6:52.
Boeing launches quality workshops while its customers grow resentful.
Marketplace Morning Report is supported by C3 Generative AI, verified traceable answers, secure, hallucination-free, LLM-agnostic, IP liability-free. Learn more at c3.ai. And by Bitwarden. The Bitwarden Password Manager enables quick and easy logins through biometric unlock and password autofill. More at bitwarden.com.
From Marketplace, I'm Sabri Benishore, in for David Brancaccio. David is in the field reporting for our special election series, looking at where voters are getting their information as some local news business models are failing, so tune in for that later. Tomorrow, Boeing will pause production of its 737 planes at a factory in Washington state for the day so that workers can attend quality workshops. Boeing is trying to respond to manufacturing problems, but its airline customers are already expressing a lot of frustration. Marketplace's Henry Epp reports.
It's probably not a great sign when two of your largest customers say they're frustrated with you and start looking to a competitor to provide their product, but that's what's happening to Boeing this week. Yesterday, Alaska Airlines CEO Ben Minicucci told NBC News that he's frustrated, disappointed, and angry in the wake of the January 5th incident on an Alaska flight, and he indicated that problems with Boeing's grounded 737 MAX 9 are far from resolved, saying his company has found loose bolts on many of its MAX 9 aircraft. And United Airlines CEO Scott Kirby told CNBC yesterday that the company may look elsewhere for new jets, even though it has dozens of Boeing's 737 MAX 10 planes on order.
I think this is the straw, the MAX 9 groundings. This is probably the straw that broke the camel's back for us. We're going to at least build a plan that doesn't have the MAX 10 in it.
Kirby did not specify where United would get its new planes, but there's only one other commercial jet manufacturer, Airbus. In a statement yesterday, Boeing said it's let their airline customers down and said it's acting on a plan to bring the MAX 9 jets safely back into service. Part of that effort, explaining proper bolt tightening procedures to its suppliers. Reuters reports the company sent out a bulletin on the process last week. And after its Renton, Washington facility pauses production tomorrow, all other company facilities will go through the same quality training in the next few weeks. I'm Henry Epp for Marketplace.
Farmers in the U.S. want a new farm bill, and they want it fast. That's the message from the American Farm Bureau Federation. The Farm Bill is a massive piece of legislation that gets passed every 5 or 6 years. It funds everything from crop insurance to nutrition programs. The current one was set to expire back in September, but Congress gave itself a year-long extension to negotiate an update. Marketplace's Savannah Marr has more.
The Farm Bill is supposed to be renewed every 5 years, but the current one was passed a few months after the deadline, and the one before that, the 2014 bill, came in 2 years late. So does this thing ever show up on time?
Good question. You know, occasionally.
Daniel Sumner, an agricultural economist at UC Davis, says right now is an especially tough time to negotiate this massive spending package. Congress has been tied up just trying to fund the government.
So if you've got your wrinkle that you'd like to see changed,
like funding for rural childcare or mental health care access, just a few issues likely to get attention in the next bill,
then it's disappointing to see it not go forward.
We're hoping, and it seems like, this farm bill is going to be a climate bill.
Ann Scheckinger with the Environmental Working Group says it's slated to incentivize more sustainable farming practices.
Right now, agriculture makes up more than 11% of America's greenhouse gas emissions, so it's really important to lower this.
Scheckinger says those goals are urgent, but if Congress doesn't negotiate a new bill in the next few months, we could be looking at 2025. Sumner again, the economist at UC Davis.
A presidential election year is hardly ever an optimal time to think you're going to pass major legislation that requires lots of compromises.
And if negotiations are delayed until after the 2024 election, that could have a big impact on how much funding is allocated to climate and conservation. I'm Savannah Marr for Marketplace.
Netflix reported better than expected fourth quarter results yesterday, much better than expected. The streamer added 13.1 million subscribers, its largest ever fourth quarter subscriber growth, despite raising prices. That brings the total number of subscribers to 260 million. Netflix stock is up 10.4% in pre-market trading. Let's see how the rest of the market's doing. Let's do the numbers. Dow, S&P, and NASDAQ futures are all up in the 2 to 0.7% range, with Dow futures up 86 points. The yield on the 10-year Treasury is 4.108%. The U.S. prides itself on having mostly free markets, but how the federal government chooses to spend money does, in reality, transform those markets and the economy. Kai Ryssdal and the afternoon team at Marketplace are going to spend some time exploring that in a series starting later today. They start with FDR's New Deal.
It was an investment not only in our roads, not only in our schools, but in democratic life.
The lasting impact of the New Deal this afternoon on Marketplace.
Marketplace Morning Report is supported by Progressive Insurance. Progressive is currently looking for individuals in a variety of career fields who are interested in building a career and joining an inclusive and unique culture. More information, including application, at progressive.com/careers. And by UiPath. More than 10,000 organizations use the UiPath AI-powered business automation platform to put AI to work. UiPath.com/marketplace. UiPath, the foundation of innovation.
Train drivers in Germany have begun a 6-day strike today in a dispute with the country's main railway operator over working hours and pay. It'll affect passenger and freight trains. Germany's transport minister called the striking train drivers destructive and unreasonable. Economists have warned the strike could cost the country more than $1 billion. Here's the BBC's Paul Moss.
It really is the last thing the German government needs. This month has already seen transport disrupted by angry farmers blocking roads and hauliers joining their protest over fuel tax and regulation. Now train drivers have walked out again in what's become the longest industrial dispute on the railways that Germany's ever seen. Throw in disruption to shipping in the Red Sea because of attacks by the Houthis, and Germany's export-dependent economy is left looking vulnerable. But the train drivers want a pay rise and to work fewer hours, and they currently show no sign of giving in.
That was the BBC's Paul Moss. In New York, I'm Sabri Ben-Achour, and you're listening to the Marketplace Morning Report. From APM, American Public Media.